Down with imperialism!
Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel addressed a crowd outside the US Embassy on Saturday, hours after Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro was abducted by US Special Forces.
Cuba condemns these actions as an act of state terrorism.
The Communist Party said 32 Cuban security personnel were slain during the attack. Back in 2002, Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez was briefly deposed in a Washington-backed coup d'etat. In its wake, Cuba sent Venezuela doctors, teachers, and intelligence personnel.
It was part of a deal. The Venezuelan government requested aid. One of the areas in which they requested aid is personal security of the leaders. So Cuba decided to send them security people who were ready who were trained to protect leaders.
The nation is in official mourning. On the street, raw indignation.
Trump wants Venezuela's riches. They bombed the country at night, killing children and civilians. What Trump has done is unforgivable. He should be hung.
For decades, Cuba relied on cheap Venezuelan oil. President Trump says that's now over, and that the regime in Havana will fall. But this dissident isn't convinced. Jailed and in exile, he said the opposition is at its weakest in years.
I don't agree that the impact on Venezuela necessarily leads to a transition in Cuba. Cuba has a lot of idiosyncrasies. The Cuban government is very good at resisting.
And on an island with barely any organized opposition, regime change advocates in Miami have never been able to explain just how political transition would play out. Cuba has been the target of economic warfare longer than any other country on Earth. And people here know only too well what more of that means for them.